Hey guys, happy Sunday. Sorry for a few minutes late. We were just catching up on life stuff. You know how it is.
It's my fault. I was chatting too much.
I need to know. They know.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
We're on our own weird schedule here at
That's
Fangirlz
all right.
Simple, but you kind of you. Hello,
That's how we roll.
James. Yeah,
Hi,
hopefully Hayden will also
James.
show up. We're talking about Heartstopper today.
That's right.
The webcomic that spun off into the great, very popular, very successful Netflix show. Good on Alice. Very happy for her. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And happy for us, the community that gets to watch Heartstopper.
If you
Love
haven't
that.
already.
Come
on.
Now, before we talk about our sponsor, I do want to say Heartstopper, you can read this all on her website. You can read it all on Webtoon. That's what I've read it. These are out in physical copies. That Kristan has. I don't have them yet. But I finished. I caught up this morning for the show. But we should talk about our sponsor, the lovely InStockTrades.com, where you can get your books up to 50% off. And if you spend $50 in the US, you get free shipping. Our pick of the month is still on there right now.
It's on there right now. Steeple Volume 3. I was just checking that when you were talking. It's 50% off, so you go get it. I'm gonna have to order it too. I haven't.
Jump on it. You know. Good morning.
Hey, the whole fam's here.
I like the idea of you two just watching. Are you guys watching together or separate rooms? It's cute either way.
Yeah.
Hayden not Panettiere. Where did that come from?
Oh, I love that. Remember when Hayden Panettiere tried to have a musical career?
Yes, of course. I love Hayden Panettiere.
I do too, and I loved that terrible song.
Since Remember the Titans. And Hayden Panettiere, I think, did some voice acting in Kingdom Hearts as well. I'm pretty sure she's someone big
Well, she was in Heroes, of course.
Of course, that was the big.
Yeah.
She was also in Until Dawn. You can play as her in a cabin in the woods in the winter with Rami Malek. Isn't that crazy? There's a video game out there where you could be Hayden Panettiere and interact with Rami Malek.
That is crazy.
I love it.
Yeah, Wake Up Call. That's the song I'm thinking of. You remember that one? Wake Up Call.
Yes, I do.
It was so bad, but I listened to it all the time. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, exactly. Save the cheerleader, save the world. If only they could save that show.
Right.
That's okay. I love it so much still, and it'll never go away.
I'm with you.
But it's got my boy Milo in it, so of course.
I know. It's the dream team.
She's gonna be in the Scream movie next year.
What is she doing? Other than the Scream movie, I guess.
But I'm excited because the last Scream movie was great. Good morning, Mary.
Hey.
So Heartstopper. Let's talk. It feels weird to talk about it now because I feel like I'm sure we've talked about, not really as much, but everyone talks about Heartstopper, I guess. So it feels kind of weird to talk about it now.
Sure.
So when the show came out, I decided, because I was having a bad day, I think, to go ahead and watch the show before reading the comic book, even though originally I was going to do the opposite. And I watched the show, and it was the most beautiful, heartwarming, uplifting thing ever. It was just perfect. And it was perfect for the headspace that I was in. And I think that a lot of people felt that way because it's just beautiful. And then I read the comic, and also just, it's so light and lovely. And I'm caught up now. So where I had stopped, where it got into some more serious things.
Yeah.
And I think that they've dealt with that really well as well. So I guess we should give a little, I don't know if anybody's not read Heartstopper, but if you want to give a little summary thing of what Heartstopper is.
Yeah, it's really about Nick and Charlie here on the cover. And, they become friends in class. And obviously, they become more than friends in class. And it's really about their life. And it is so, it's so wholesome. I think that's why everybody loves it, right? Because it's lovely and they do deal with serious topics. But it's done in a way where you still don't feel like, you're not reading this and feeling a lot of anxiety or stressed out like so many other, books even that handle those sort of topics, Oh,
absolutely. Especially teen romances.
Teen dramas,
They tend to have the same tropes in there that make me very uncomfortable. And not uncomfortable that's triggering things. It's that secondhand embarrassment
Yeah, absolutely.
that people think they have to write into books that makes it very difficult for me to continue reading, or shows. I had to like drop Never Have I Ever because season 2 did the same tropey thing, and I couldn't watch it because I get so embarrassed uncomfortably. But this is so pure, so I continue.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's, I would say that even boils down to the simplistic art style and the way there's like one shade of color work throughout this, which is like a nice green. And it's notoriously readable. And I think that's another really positive thing about it. It is just so easy to fly through it. And as you see, I mean, the way the panels are laid out, the text, there isn't like a ton going on per page.
Yeah.
But it's still like, even when there's more dialogue and there's more like happening, like, something like this, it's just very readable. I don't know how else to put that. It's just you can breeze through it. I'm sure you read it in like 0.7 seconds or something.
Oh yeah, I think I had like a few hours at work that were slow, and I just read a bunch. I love the dynamic between these two, Nick and Charlie. Like I love this. Like, I mean, we've seen stories like this before, but I thought it felt very organic. You have this boy who's been outed as gay. He's been bullied. He's very kind of introverted. He has his own friends that he hangs out with. But he gets a crush on this guy. This rugby player is really nice to him. And, I love the big fantasy of it, which is so true of anyone that age. I think, and now, if I get a crush on somebody, it's just, I see the same hearts and like oh my God. And then I love how this exploration of sexuality and what it means and really taking the time with it. In like a very sweet way, not like oh my God, I'm ruined. It's just nice to have this and not have like oh, I'm gay. This is the end,
Absolutely. Because even, it's not a spoiler because we know they get together, but like when Nick is realizing his feelings for the first time and he's never felt that way for another boy.
Yeah.
And dealing with all of that, we've seen so many stories of the big crisis that I feel like everybody goes through, and that's real for people.
Yeah.
And that those stories absolutely should exist, but it feels so different because it really is like they meet so genuinely and organically in the book and in the show. I think they translated that very well, where, it's not just like he's not having a meltdown for like the next 7 books. You know what I mean? Like he deals with it in his own way, in his own time. And they both, they're both really respectful to that. Yeah. And I think, the book is very respectful to that, but it doesn't feel like it takes too long and it doesn't feel like it happens too fast. Right? Like there's a nice balance where, and it's not like an insta love thing either. Right? It's like it just feels real, Yeah,
because it's a little slow, but not totally. It feels it feels very organic, and I love watching Nick explore that with himself because he just knows he has a crush on Charlie. He's like, okay, what do I do with this? And you see him Googling like, what does this mean? Doing like the am I gay? I love the online am I gay test because that's so. But he starts like learning about bisexuality. It's like, okay. And also it's good to see a bisexual guy in a book ever. Because that
it's so weird that that's still so rare, but it really is,
Yeah. And I love because right after that they start kind of dating and talking. He's still not comfortable showing it to everybody yet. Which makes sense because he's just realizing this about himself. But it's great to show that as like the inverse of that with another guy who's been doing that to Charlie on purpose. Who has been crappy and hiding it on purpose and like just being really rude to him versus Nick, who's like, no, it's not, I promise.
Yeah.
And he's trying to be really mindful of that difference.
But I think that's so helpful too for Nick, I think, to realize what he's doing, even if he's doing it in his own way. And it's like for like his own mental health to like not tell everybody this yet. He's realizing what it could be doing to Charlie, which is lovely that he sees that,
Oh, yeah. Oh, God, so good. And I love all these side stories with the other characters, which all feel great and healthy. And one of the best things about this is that trans character, their friend who used to go to school with them, but because she transitioned, she's now going to the girls' school because they're at an all-boys school and there's a all-girls school like across the street.
Right.
And they don't dwell on it, which is really, the bar is low.
Yeah,
The
the
bar
bar's
is
so low. Yeah.
for how trans characters are treated in life and in books and media. But it felt very refreshing
Absolutely.
to not have, like, yeah, we know she's trans, but the whole narrative's not reflected on that. Like, it's, and she mentions a little bit like, oh, well, these guys used to bully me, but we don't have to watch her go through that trauma again.
Mm-hmm.
Like, obviously that she did, but instead she just gets to you get to watch her be a girl at this new school and what that's like for her, and also kind of her weird will they won't they with her friend
Right.
back from school. And I really loved that. Like, I loved reading about her. I loved when she got to meet the lesbian couple on campus, and finally found like a really safe, beautiful space there, and how they also are coming into like being open about being together. It's just really sweet.
Absolutely. And I think, we have to keep talking about the show as we talk about this
Yeah,
because
because the show did such a good job.
yeah, and it's one of those things that like, a lot of people have probably watched the show and outread it. And one of the criticisms I have heard about the comic is that the side characters were just so much more fleshed out and well done in the show.
Oh,
Which
absolutely.
I think is absolutely true. But I think, Alice Oseman, I think, had a big role in that.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume taking that over to the show because I know, she had involvement in that anyway. So, maybe that's something she looked back on, was like, I wish I had done it this way, but she probably has a certain page count. There's certain restrictions.
I mean, does she have any idea? This is a webtoon. It's not like she put it all out together at once.
Right, exactly.
And like, you're growing with this with no, she started the webtoon. Most people start their webtoons with no real plan of what this is going to be. It's just something to do.
Right.
It's something you're passionate about. It's like you have some editor coming through the whole time while you're putting it together.
Exactly. So, like, if you read this and you're like, hey, I wish I had more of the side characters, and you haven't watched the show, I mean, you're going to get more of their journey in the show, which is cool because I don't, so many people are like, we need a direct, like, translation from book to show, whatever. And I'm like, I love what they changed in the show. I think they improved and expanded upon the universe that she started in this book, which is awesome.
I think some of the best comic book shows that I've watched have been ones that have not taken crazy liberties and like, but have really understood the heart of the comic book or the media that they're using, but expand upon in a way that just adds to the story. And I really appreciate that. It was Alice's decision to flesh out the side characters because the comic is supposed to be solely focused on Nick and Charlie, but the show obviously needed to expand to work.
There we go. Thanks, Hayden.
Hayden's guys. And I think, this is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Other good examples, I think, are, what is it, Invincible? That cartoon show. Mm-hmm. The Boys, obviously, even though I wish-wash on if I like it really or not.
Yeah.
Sandman, for me.
Watchmen was like totally, yeah.
It's good. Yeah. And Jeff Lemire's our boy. What is it?
Oh, Sweet Tooth. Yeah, Sweet Tooth. That's a good example too.
That's a very good example. Yeah, I felt like it was good both ways, which I was glad because I was worried. I always worry if I'm watching something and I read the book that I won't be as interested once I read it. I felt that way about manga and anime a lot, but those are usually like a very like one-to-one translation a lot of times. Not always, but it feels like that. And I worry it's going to ruin the reading experience because if I know it's going to happen, am I still going to be as into reading it? Mm-hmm. And I didn't feel that way at all with this. I love the artwork. I love that it's simplistic. I think it adds to the lightheartedness of it.
I agree.
And then when they talk about things, it feels safer. Like heavy situations.
Yeah, the tone is perfect. And I think the color choices too. And, we talk about this sometimes now because it's been popping up more and more in the comics we read lately. But the way text messages are done are just sort of perfect, right?
Yeah.
Even like these walls of text, which I feel like we never see in comics.
Yeah.
But I've sent walls of text in my life, right? It would absolutely be like this. And it's so clean. Absolutely. You can read it really well. And like they just go back from panel to panel and like show you that. I think that's perfectly done. And it shouldn't be that hard.
So, you're caught up, or I don't know what's included in the last volume that came out.
Yeah, the last volume was volume 4, which I've read.
Okay, so have they already talked? I guess we should say a little bit of a trigger warning here. because they put this, which I appreciate, they put the trigger warnings in every page of the webtoon. But we're talking about eating disorders.
Yeah. Yeah, that's in there.
And mental illness. Yeah. I would like to talk about that because I thought it was so well done.
Yeah.
I read this morning.
Yeah.
But because I love a love story that doesn't have to be, oh no, another person showed up, or what are you gonna do, or like whatever. It's still their genuine love. They're together. They're gonna stay together, as far as we know. And they're working through other things. And part of the next thing is Charlie's like he's realized now Charlie's got a bit of eating disorder because his life's been out of control. And that was one thing he had control over.
Mm-hmm.
And Nick, who's just golden retriever boyfriend, does not know how to deal with it. But I think they deal with it in a really beautiful way.
Yeah.
In a healthy way. And I was really appreciative of that.
Yeah, I mean, it was great to see because it's like, you know, you think about, I feel like we do this a lot now too, where we read something, we're like, kids these days who get to read this, right? Because
I know.
Which I feel so old saying, of course, but you know, I'm just like to be struggling with something like that anyway, and to see it like again done so well, and in a way that like makes you aware that hey, we're going to talk about this, so heads up, but then handle it so well because you know you think about the age that they are,
like 16.
Yeah, and they wouldn't know what to do in that situation, and especially Nick trying to be like, I need to help him, I don't know how to help him. That could have went down a really like dark road.
Yeah.
Right? And there was just the way it was done. It was not like that. And
yeah,
it just didn't. And again, that's a really it's a hard topic to bring up. And you think about like how wholesome this book feels. But again, it's just the way it was done was just like so beautiful, really. I thought it was like pretty perfect.
Absolutely. Because if this were like, I don't know, most YA books or like TV shows, he would try to help him. Charlie would freak out. And they'd hit rock bottom and then they have to take him to the hospital. You know, that kind of stuff.
Yes, absolutely.
It's always the extremity of it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a place for those things, but it needs to be balanced with how it should actually be taken care of.
Right.
And it's a good example. Hayden mentioned Nick's talk with his mom about Charlie's eating disorder, which is perfect.
Yeah.
Very well handled. Because she has a great point. She's like, listen, you're his boyfriend. You don't have to be responsible for his mental health, though. And you were so sweet and you want to take care of him. But you can't fix that for him.
Mm-hmm.
You can be there. You can listen to him. And so can everybody. And they show this great like scene. Always, she writes all these different, or shows all these different images of other people talking to their friends or family and like about their own things. Like, yes, those support, those supportive relationships are important, but like you can't obviously talk to like an adult or a doctor.
Yeah.
But they have this really great moment. She's like, why don't we just look up how we can best help him, you know, and let's make a plan. And they do. I thought it was so great because as he finally goes to talk to him, at the same time he's talking to him, we're seeing this advice that he's gotten from his mom, like kind of like the steps of what to take, which I thought were great. It was so good because like, okay, first make sure we're in a safe space. And that was one of their rooms. They were already kind of like cozy and comfy. And like, don't focus it around his eating disorder, focus it around more general. And it's like his mental health. Oh, you've been really tired. It's not just the eating, but you've been really tired. You know, you haven't been happy. And then talk about like, you know, maybe we should look at some doctors together. And he's like, oh, I can't do it. And he's like, well, I know it's hard. Let's sit down and write it down. And so it'd be easier. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It's just like, I know we're adults reading this and maybe we've already gone through our own ups and downs, but I think that helped us anyways as adults. But I think if anyone that age is reading it, how great.
Yeah,
because I don't know. I'm glad that people talk about this stuff now because I didn't. I wouldn't know what to do.
No, and I mean, even just like, and there's books talking about this, I'm sure, you know.
Yeah.
But it was just the way it was handled, and it's so accessible. Again, just the way it reads is very accessible. So, and that,
Absolutely.
you know, I think it's so much easier for like a teenager to pick this up too. If that teenager's not even into reading, it's just so readable and quick, and it's a, you know, the graphic novel's laid out very well, that I think it's very important. And what another cool thing that this reminds me of is how great the parents were in this book, right? Because we, you know, they're more involved than I think a typical teen story. Like usually we'll read like a, you know, a teen fiction novel or something, and like you never hear of the parents, or they're there to be annoying and you run away or whatever. Like it's just such a different, like, again, another positive relationship in both of their lives is with their parents.
Yeah.
And we see that reflected so greatly too in the show with Olivia Colman is amazing.
Of course.
You know, so she kills it in the show, and just, you know, the relationship that they both have with their positive parents is nice to see too.
Yeah, hey, I just did it. There's little like leaves that fly by when you Google it. It's just cute.
That's cute.
I know the most common thing said about the show was LGBT people saying that this is the kind of thing they wish they had when they're growing up. Yeah. I think a lot of people like they kind of went through almost not trauma, but they were like, I know I saw a lot of tweets and TikToks. So like they were watching it and mourning for like what they could have had. Mm-hmm. So envious to seeing this like actual just high school sweet relationship. And I'm like, I get it.
Yeah, because I even think about, you know, kids who had Glee, right?
Yeah.
The show. Which there's certainly positive aspects of Glee, okay? But as we've talked about in the past, I have a really complicated relationship with Glee, and I think a lot of people do.
Oh, yeah.
Because there was so much bad in that show, and, like, stuff did not age well. And, you know, even in the time, it's just, like, there were a lot of extremes, right? And the subject matters that they dealt with, I think a lot of them were not dealt with well at all. A lot of them. Because they handled a lot of serious stuff, including this very subject, right? So the shows I think about that we've went through and that have come and gone that, you know, were probably positive to some people, but like still didn't handle things quite well.
Yeah.
It's just really nice that it exists for sure.
Yeah, because like the only things I had growing up that were, you know, had queer relationships that were like manga, which felt so impossible. Right? Because it's like that's not reflecting my life.
Yeah.
And then anything American was like, but I'm a cheerleader or Debs. And those are, again, extremity, you know, not real situations. They're not grounded in reality. Or they're weird Lifetime specials. There wasn't much else.
Well, I even think about, obviously, both of us had Buffy, you know, as a teenager, I had Buffy. And I think, and we had one positive relationship in that, right? Yeah. But that still ended in tragedy,
well,
right?
Yeah, because we had the dead lesbian. It's still fantasy, and it wasn't a real life. This is just a real life situation of two people in high school falling in love, and that's so awesome for everybody. And I love that. Like, there's so many examples of this now, and not only that, but like I think about how we talk about the, you know, the eating disorder and how they dealt with that, like. To be able to just learn these lessons of how to help people through media like this is really important. Because it's not like, oh, here's a book on how to do it. You know, it's, you get to learn this without realizing you're doing it. And I think there's so much great media that does that now that I'm really thankful for, where you're learning like important like mental health or empathetic lessons without feeling like, oh, you have to read a pamphlet about it.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like they're,
and not that you shouldn't
or anything. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
There was absolutely nothing of the sort back in the 60s and 70s when I was young. So many people I knew would have led much different lives if there had been anything supportive like this. Absolutely. And even as much as in the last few decades. Yeah. Like, I don't know. And I think, you know, I mean, League of Their Own is out. Like, always, and it's positive representation for all ages. How much could that affected like parents of people my age or like just people my age or community? I don't know how much it'd reach rural Kentucky, but
that's fair. But yeah, because we even think about, you know, gosh, even the past like 10 years, I want to say there's been a lot more, and there's a lot of more positive, but I still feel like this is something that we haven't had yet, which is something, it's hard to say that, right? It's hard to be like, this is entirely unique in what it's doing.
Yeah.
So much has been done, but I think specifically the show is just something, and
Yeah.
that's why it caught on, right? Like it has not existed in this sort of way
Absolutely.
before.
So big shout out. I'm so thankful for it. And I look forward to, more gay TV and webcomics. Not that
Yeah.
you and I are not devoid of
Well, no.
LGBT graphic novels in any way. But
That's
anything
true.
that I appreciate having a show, movies, anything that reaches more people.
Yeah, and it blows it up and gets
Yeah. And
romance
honestly,
like that.
when they came out, it was fine. Like, not like it wasn't complete. You have some backlash, but like, not really. Not a lot.
Yeah.
Like, they got to celebrate it still. It's so
Which is
nice.
also so nice and rare, right? Like,
Yeah. It's so good.
it's nice to see like a show come out and people be like, what bad can I say about this? Right?
Yeah.
It's hard for even the deniers to be like, what can I say that's so bad in this other than, the obvious thing that they're just entirely against no matter what,
Oh, yeah. I'm so excited for Yasmin Finney joining Doctor Who next year. Yes, me too. And Shooty.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So excited. Because I love both. I love Heartstopper. I love Sex Education.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we're going to get me back. Nick punching a homophobe was a 10 out of 10 Emmy-worthy scene. Yeah.
Yes.
I love there's a good scene in the comic or the webtoon too where he like yells at his brother at the dinner table with his dad there.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love it. But yeah.
So it's great. People need to read it. There are 4 volumes of this out if you want to get it physically. But like you said, you can read it for free on Webtoon. I will say these are very floppy. You know how we like a flop factor in book. These are nice and floppy. These are the Scholastic Graphics editions. There are like UK editions. They're not as floppy. But you can find them in the US as well, I think. Because I read the UK ones at the library. Also, the UK ones, there's no green tint. It's just all black and white.
Yeah, you gotta have the tint. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have to. It's better.
I like that trend and stuff.
Yeah,
it's nice.
It's really nice. So there are 4 of these. There's going to be 5. It's ending with 5, unfortunately. So.
Oh yeah. Also, Tori is the best. I love Tori.
Yeah, Tori's awesome.
Oh man, she. Ooh.
I need to read because Tori started in Alice Oseman's book Solitaire. So
I need to read that.
I need to read it. I know.
She's so cool. Well, what's everybody reading? What's up? What's the deal? I did. I'm halfway through Hannah Gadsby's memoir.
Ooh, okay. I've been wanting to read that.
It's very good. I've been a little anxious lately, and so I have to remind myself to have low dopamine mornings.
Mm-hmm.
So for fellow ADHD or neurodivergent people, don't look at your phone in the morning for like at least 30 minutes. Go have your coffee or breakfast and like don't have a screen on, which is very hard for me to do because I just want to sit with my phone and my TV on both at the same time.
Yeah,
the minute I get up, and so it helps a lot. But people are right, and I know that, and then I forget. So my suggestion to you, if you're like me, make yourself read a book in the morning. You'll like it once you get into it. You don't want to stop anyway. So it's.
Are you?
Yeah, it's very good.
That?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
I have to not read on screen. I think to help them.
Well, I was thinking listening.
Oh yeah, if I'm just that way. I just do this.
Gotcha. Yeah, I need to get that.
I want to listen to it too, but I have the physical right now, and I still haven't gotten.
Jeanette McCurdy's book.
Yeah.
Reed just finished it. Reed just finished it because he had pre-ordered it on Audible. Okay. And he had like a credit left, and I was like, "Reed, you need to finish it. Reed, you need to finish it so I can listen to it. Because if I had started, it would have messed up where he was,
Yeah.
So he finished it. I need
trying to read it. Elliot did go out of his way to try to pick up a copy for me, but it was right when it came out, so it was sold out. It was very sweet. He's like, I tried. It's really awkward to ask for that book.
Yeah, that's fair. But
it was very cute.
Oh.
Yeah, Solitaire is Tori. This winter's Nick Charlie. And Tori. Then Nick and Charlie's obviously Nick and Charlie. Charlie's friend Alid is also in Radio Silence set years later. That's cool.
I loved Radio Silence. I read that years ago, and it's so good. It's so
good. Reminder, Maddie, I try to have my coffee and meditate before doing anything else in the morning. I am also a big fan of meditating.
It's the way to go.
I typically do it once I'm at work, but like first thing in the morning once I get in the office, or if I'm stressed during the day. But I love meditation as long as it's guided. If they stop talking for too long, we have a problem. You have to keep talking to me, or I'm gonna get distracted.
Yeah, we have like a weekly guided meditation at work that we can like tune into. Yeah,
that's
cute.
cool. Mm-hmm. We used to do Tai Chi every day at work when the pandemic started.
Yeah,
every day we all jump on Zoom and do Tai Chi, but it didn't last. Listening to classical music in the mornings and just before bed is the only way to stop my mind from racing. That's smart.
Nice.
I'm a fan of brown noise and pink noise. It's like white noise, like where it's like that
noise. Yeah,
and it's just like it works for me. So if I have to work or something, I'll have that on and music, or that on and something else, because it's like I have 5 channels and I need something to occupy one of them and shut it down.
I get that. It's like kind of like I can't sleep without a fan on.
Yeah.
Like I need that noise. I can't have a quiet room.
Yeah. I'm that way, but like all the time. I enjoy I'm glad my mom died. I listened to an audiobook. Jeanette McCurry did the recording. You could tell her emotional journey in her voice, and she wanted, ooh. Oh,
that's why I want to go that way. Yeah.
I'm just trying to read it.
Put it on hold from your library.
But it'll take forever.
I mean, it may.
And then they only give me like 10 days, and that's just not enough time.
They give me 10 days. Oh, we have like 21 here.
Yeah, I know.
That's some bull.
Yeah, I know.
Messed up.
Did you say bacon noise or baking noise?
Did you say
either?
Yeah, I heard brown noise.
Brown noise, pink noise, another one, white noise. I'm sure bacon noise is a great background. Like it's like the
sounds good. Yeah, the sizzle. Yeah.
But then I want bacon, and then I'd regret it because bacon is greasy. Too old now. I'm like, nah, I can't have bacon. It's greasy. I gotta have my turkey bacon.
I also prefer turkey bacon.
I like turkey bacon.
It's so good.
You can put it in the microwave.
Yeah. Pop it in the oven real quick. It's fine.
Yeah, that's great. So friends, what all have you guys been reading? What's up? Any suggestions, recommendations?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, Siri thought I was asking about turkey bacon, and then went ahead and put it in my watch. Here's some information about turkey bacon. And then there's like a little picture of turkey bacon.
Oh, nice.
And then the Wikipedia article.
Oh, classic Siri.
I did get some books in, but they're on the other side. I have shorts. Looks like we're gonna get Red Sonja maybe from Millennium Medias. Are we really? Man, that has been in contention for a long time.
Like, been teased for a while, right?
Because that really bad, creepy guy was working on it. What's his name? I don't remember. Oh,
Bad creepy guy.
Robert Sheehan is gonna be it from Misfits and Umbrella Academy. Robert Sheehan.
Now you're like, I have to.
Why is okay? Listen, wait. I don't have time to read this. I'll have to look at it after to see who they want to be Red Sonja. It looks like someone named MJ Bassett might be running it. Matilda Lutz, who's that? Listen, if they don't beef this girl up, I know I've been fighting this for a long time. She seems nice or whatever, but like you gotta beef a girl up to be Red Sonja. But I'm still I'll still watch it. I just want some muscles. She-Hulk's doing that well. I think She-Hulk looks like She-Hulk from the comics. Non-She-Hulk readers probably like she should be more muscular. Sure, I get it.
Yeah.
At least she looks like the comic books. I'm fine.
I mean, Natalie Portman killed it, right? So
yeah, it's fine.
Just get her on the Natalie Portman.
Well, they faked her muscles too.
Did they fake it?
Yeah, that's CG muscles.
Are you sure? Because I thought there was behind the scenes photos where she was like jacked.
Yeah, but like they have comparisons. She's like not like her real jack. Yeah, she's not as much.
That's a bummer.
But She-Hulk is good, by the way. I hope you watch it.
I do want to watch it.
You'll like it. It's short. It's like Fleabag, like it because she does the thing where she breaks the fourth wall and talks to us. And there's some really good jokes in there.
I definitely want to watch it. I'm stuck in Nailed It right now, as you know. but
Girl, listen,
it will
there are
eventually.
shows I need you to watch, and I
I
need
know.
you to get away from reality TV for a
Nailed it.
second
It's hard. It's
and watch all these shows I have for you to watch.
but Nicole Byer is so funny.
Listen,
I
if you need Nicole Byer, at least stop watching that and go watch Tuca and Birdie. At least that, but
I
like
don't even know what that is.
they're two birds. It's animated. It's funny.
Love that. Love
I
that.
know. But come on.
I know.
I'm 3/4 through Paper Girls now, so at least Jessica won't try to murder me anymore.
That's good.
It's very good. It's just taking me longer. League of
Yeah.
Their Own was easy to kind of like forget about and not forget about other things and just
Sure.
Well, I guess we can wrap it up early. I have to talk about.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say here either.
Shoot us a message about what to read for next month. I need to choose one of these months to take a month off. I won't take it from this because we'd have to find other people.
Yeah, right. That's complicated. Also, like, what are we really doing? You know, if you want to take a month off on here, but like we still do shows, we just don't read things for them. Right? We just do some more top 10 lists or like, things like that.
That's true. Well, I kind of like the reading part. It's the scheduling the show part that gets in the way.
I
like,
see what you're saying. Yeah.
No, I'll take a month off from Over Your New Reader one of these months, just to have a little Tuesdays free. I always take at least one.
Yeah, you should.
But I'll never take October.
No, we can't. Spoopy reads. Come on.
Spoopy reads.
We gotta.
I need new spooky clothes to wear for spooky reads.
Yeah, I need to just go into every store right now and just get stuff.
I know.
Stuff that I don't need. You know that thing where you're just like, oh, but it's cute because there's a skull on it.
Skull on it. Well, and now that you and Reed will have weekends open, you have no excuse not to come visit me for the weekend.
Unless Reed has an event. But
unless he has an event. Yeah.
Then we'll
I just want my dream to come true.
Yeah.
Of you having a sleepover at my house. And you get to meet Robin.
Gotta make it happen, for sure.
Yeah. There's like a million comic book stores here. Oh, yay. I love Unstoppable Wasp. It's my favorite. Oh, I'm so glad you like it. I need to reread that. I want to see if it messes me up as much as it did before. Because I just remember, I love that girl. I love that girl.
I would like to do that too.
That'd be great. That'd be a good, December should be full of, treats.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no Christmas books anyways for Klaus. It should just be December's just our favorite books. We just talk about it.
Yeah, let's do that. That's cute.
Yeah, I'd like that.
But we have December plans, so
done. December planned. November can be send us your problematic favorites. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that.
Don't. Actually,
it could be, unless it's it depends on what problematic is. Problematic, oh no, it's cheesy. But if it's problematic, the person wrote problematic, no, I'm not gonna touch that.
Right.
But if it's the other kind, sure.
I'm
not trying to get attacked on the internet. So if I just avoid talking about them, it's fine.
Yeah. Although, we've talked about things where people have came out of the woodwork in the internet to yell at us.
If you guys had just been essayed, you'd understand this book.
Oh my gosh. That or Nubia. Never forget.
God. People.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So woke. All right. We're gonna wrap it up. We'll be back here next Sunday with hauls and reads. That's right. I will try to have hauled and read something. Same. I will need to finish Yakuza first. That is my first priority.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I'm pretty busy. So I just got a new summon where I can summon a cat to fight all my enemies. So you could say it's getting pretty serious.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you call a friend, you put your phone, you go, I'm gonna call a friend, and it's this dramatic thing, and then this cat comes.
Stop it right. Hold on, is this on every console? Is that what you said?
It's not on Switch, I don't think.
Okay, well, I just want to play it on my Xbox.
Oh yeah, it's Xbox. It's actually, if you have Xbox Game Pass, which is only $6, you should get it. It's only $6-7 a month, and you can play all these games for free. There's a ton of free games on there.
And that one's on there. Okay.
Oh man. And also because I want you to play AI the Somnium Files because it's so anime and dumb and you have to solve a mystery and you would love it.
I need to do it.
But yeah, this game is great. It's so good. Also, I ran a business and then you can hire a chicken to work. And a Roomba. A giant Roomba.
Getting better.
And you can play claw machines and Mario Kart in it. And at the same time, I'm trying to like protect sex workers and save the cops from destroying all the yucks.
I love everything about this.
This game is great.
Yeah.
I gave this old lady who couldn't cross the street by herself some kimchi, and then she ran real fast across the street. It's the best she's ever felt. This game's hilarious. It's the best game ever. I
love it.
I literally can't do anything else. I need a manga about this and a show. There's no merchandise for this game. I don't understand. Everyone's goofy. They're so goofy in Friends. I love it.
That's amazing.
I've cried so many times. Cry a lot over Homeless Man. I love him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cosplay him. Anyways, I said I was gonna end the show. Have a good day, guys. See you next week.
Thanks for being here.